friends and welcome back to Biosphereflora. Today in this video I am going to talk about low light plants. During this monsoon time there is a light problem to the plants. So in this video I am going to talk about 5 such low light plants which are easy to maintain and require very less light to grow. The first plant in my list is the ZZ plant. The ZZ plant is better adapted to thrive in a drought condition as well as in the low light condition. This plant does both well in the bright light condition and the low light condition. The pattern and the structure of the leaves fully depend on the low light condition or the bright light condition you provide them. If you provide them in a low light condition or in a full darkness, then the leaves will be a very dark green color, while in the brightness, if you will provide, then the leaves will be the light green color. This plant is a very famous and well-known plant and a very hard to kill plant, as because they are drought resistant and extremely adapted to have in a low light condition grow. This plant is nowadays a very popular plant because of the air purifying capacity too. The next plant in my list is the snake plant or the Sansevieria. Now the snake plant has been reclassified into the Dracaena family. I have here the two varieties of the snake plant. This one is the tall one variety and the behind is the dwarf one variety. This both plant does very well in the low light condition. This one are the best plant for the tabletop or any decorative piece as a small plant. As the ZZ plant, this plant is also a very hardy plant and hard to kill plant, and also a drought resistant plant and a very low maintenance plant with a low light requirement to grow. If you will clearly observe, then you will find there is a floral pattern when they grow in a dwarf variety. The next plant in my list is the Podophylum. This is the Syngonium Podophylum. In this pot, I have potted the two plants which is of different variety, but you will find that they will soon recover to their original form, that is the Podophylum. For this plant, I will suggest you should have one if you are a lazy and a beginner plant parrot, as because this plant is not only a low light plant but also required very much less attention and care. They will grow very easily, but you have to only water them when the soil gets dried. I used to keep them in a low light condition and does not give them much care and attention. Although then you can clearly see this plant is thriving very well with a beautiful large foliage on them. The next plant in my list is the Chinese evergreen or the green aglaonema. This plant comes in a very much variety in the market. The pink color or the lipstick variety of this aglaonema is famous because of the pink color, but here I am showing the green variety with beautiful variegation on them. This aglaonema is also a better adapted for the low light condition and extremely hardy plant to grow as like the snake plant. This plant only needs water when the soil gets dried off. Don't overwater them, any of the plant which I have discussed, as because overwatering is the major problem of getting the root rotting. The next plant in my list is the Monstera deliciosa. Monstera deliciosa is famous because of the leaf variegation and the cuts on them. The Monstera comes in a very different varieties, whether it be the Swiss cheese Monstera, Monstera deliciosa, Monstera obliqua, and etc. I used to keep them in a place where it receives the very low light condition, and for now during the rainy season they receive extremely low light condition. But then also you can clearly see they are thriving and new growth on them is continuously arising. The bright dark green foliage and the thick foliage help them to adapt in the low light condition.